Hello everyone and welcome to an IRL video on this channel. Yeah, it's been a while because I've sort of I've forgotten really. I haven't really done anything on the channel for a couple of months. I haven't done any sort of like update things because I'm losing interest. Not with the mods. I like the mods still, but doing sort of the update videos. It's just sort of like if they're saying I do still keep up with all the stuff. You know, when they release videos and things, I still sort of play with the mods and all that sort of stuff. And so just know there's a bit of dust there. When I see something, I was like, oh, I really want to talk about this. I will probably do a video if there's something really interesting. And I started getting sort of Adam, like if you saw the last one with the team I got Adam involved, and that was quite fun. And I think also maybe I want to try to do it with him, and it's just sort of organising a time where we can both sort of be on because he's working, and it's just a lot of other stuff to sort of think about. But until then, we'll do IRL stuff because I want to get caught up with my figures because in the next sort of month or so, they've announced a whole new set of character options exclusive online figures. And if you get I think for 5 sets, you get to build a Yeti. And I'm going to do videos on all those as they sort of come out as I get them. So there's a few things I want to get done. So what we're going to do today is probably going to be the longest video, one of the longest videos I've probably ever done. And it's going to be about the Dalek. That should sound a little bit nicer because the microphone isn't sort of where it normally should be. So I hope this sounds good. Also, it would work if he was on center. There you go. So I'm going to go through all of my Daleks. I think I have got more Daleks than I've got Doctors, and I have quite a lot of Doctors. So if they're unique Daleks, I guess it's a little bit less. I haven't got many sort of dupes, but I've got a couple. But we'll go through them. So I'm going to start with the 60s and go all the way to new series all in one big video, and it's going to be very, very fun. One thing we'll bear in mind, I think this is a very quick sort of premise thing. Assume that all of these are like the history of the Daleks, like new ones, unless I say otherwise. So just assume all of these are like the B&M ones, unless I say, oh no, this is an older one, just to make life easier. Right, it all sounds good. We're gonna start with this one. So this is this is the Dead Planet Dalek, number 1. I do have the number 2, which had I think the squinty eye. That was the only difference. This one had the one that was sort of like the zoomed in eye stalk. But he's in a cupboard with a broken plunger. It's not his broken plunger, it's another Dalek's broken plunger that I swapped because I wanted the one that had the broken plunger to go on my display. That's the reason. No, that's Bellamy Brothers, I think. Is that what they're called? No, not the time. No, we're going to go through the Daleks because I've got a lot of these and I don't know how long until my computer goes too much space. So I want to sort of get these through quick. Yes, so they came in pairs because, of course, all the History Daleks ones came in pairs. So this one was number 1, the other one was number 2. I think there were 4, in the original episode. Yeah, but it's got all the stuff you expect. So it's got, of course, this is before they had the sort of vertical slats. It's got. I do like the sort of original gun. I like the sort of. Can we sort of zoom in? I don't think this thing has any focus because, of course, I'm not using my phone, which had like zoom and autofocus. This doesn't have any of that. This is just a webcam. And also, I'm deciding to do this on like one of the hottest days it's been so far, and I have to shut my windows because I do live in the West Country. You may think I live in a field full of apple trees with the Wurzels just over the fence. Sadly, I don't. I do live on like a main road, and it's also recycling day, so I had all the bin men outside earlier as well, which was fun. And I've got bin men, I've got buses, and I've got God knows what else. Motorcycle clubs. No, that'd be cool if they were them. So I have to keep the window shut because it's full of you hear lots of traffic. At the moment, luckily, it is quite quiet, but I have shut a lot of the doors and all the windows. So I'm getting quite hot in here, so I want to get this done because I'm going to boil. I'm basically steaming myself for YouTube. The things I do for you miserable lot. The colours look a little bit off. Of course, this is the B&M ones, so they're of course a lot shinier. But I think this webcam has a slightly weird sort of contrast. Everything looks a bit sort of more faded than it really should be, but it doesn't look too bad actually. I like the blue looks a bit more like how it would look on the telly actually. I always found the blue on the figure was a bit strong, but on camera it looks a little bit nicer. But this was the first one, very sort of important. We'll keep him at the back for now, and then we'll sort of switch them all out when we go through different decades. Well, actually, all I've got the first Doctor ones. I've forgotten the Troughton ones, but I've only got like 3 Troughton ones. No, 2 Troughton ones. It's just technically I do have 3. There is a 3rd one down there. No, because but then where's you? But then we'll find him. Here's Dalek Invasion of Earth. So we've got those two, that one, and these two. So these are the ones from the B&M set. These are all very dusty, as you may sort of see. They weren't dusty when they did the first one, but it's been so long they've gotten dusty. So that's good. There it goes, clean now. So these are the two B&M ones. But if we look at the first one I ever got, which was this one, and this is actually one of the first ever... Clean this dome off. This is actually one of the first ever Daleks I actually ever got. Actually, I think I will kneel down, actually, because actually they might make the sound a bit there, actually, because I'm close to the microphone. This is the first ever... I want to be careful with my right hand, because the wire for the webcam goes past, and if I knock it, it's going to fall over, so I've got to be careful. But, yeah, this is the Saucer Pilot, and I've had this guy for God knows how many years. And it was one of the first ever. It was the second classic Dalek 3-pack they did back in 2009, 2009. So this is quite an old guy. He's quite old. That's why he's got so much dust on him. But of course, yeah. So this has of course you can tell it's the pilot because he's got the alternating colours. It's got the silver and black, and he's very sort of scratched. He's scratched to hell. Because I've had him for so many years. He's covered in dust. He's a bit of a mess. But he's not on the main display, so he's not. That's why he's a little bit muckier. Because he's not on the proper display. And then these are the two B&M ones. So you've got the drone, then we've got the Supreme. So, of course, the main difference, of course, between the two droids, between the two stories, is, of course, this one has the dish on the back, which on this one is silver. Is this one silver? Yeah. I don't think they were always meant to be silver, but on the original one... I mean, I'm imagining it was meant to be grey, because of course these are the more modern ones, so I guess these are more screen accurate, so they've gone for the grey dish, not the silver dish that the pilot had. Go away! And of course the other thing they've also got is they had the silver eye. So the sort of eyeball itself was silver, and then the stalk was black. And then with less eye rings, I thought these had more eye rings than the other ones did. And of course they've got the taller base, because of course these are sort of the ATV Daleks that can go over, London streets and mines in Bedford. And then of course we've got the Supreme / Saucer Commander with the can you have him sort of... Can you look into the camera, please? Look into the camera. Has he got I think his eye... Is his eye stalk funny? Or does he just go... I think he's just too tall. Of course the only difference is, of course, this one is completely black. And the only bits of silver are the guns and the sort of rings, which is sort of the motif they do for the Master Plan Supreme. Is it the one I will say, for 60s, the Dalek sets I don't have, I think, are the history ones for Master Plan and the Chase. I also don't have... What was the Dalek in the Hartnell 2-pack for the 50th anniversary? I think that was the Master Plan Supreme as well. I don't have that set. And I also don't have... There's another one I feel like I'm missing. I know they did... I think they did one of you as sound effects. They also did the Chase Guard. I don't have any Chase Guards, which are those sort of rare ones. But I have sort of the next best thing, actually, as I'll show you. This is sort of the right sort of... I've got this guy, which is the Jungle of Mechanus. I do have the other one because these came in too. But these are the ones from the Cushing movie, which is basically the Dalek they use as the guard in Chase. This is the Chase Guard Dalek. But what they did is they took the base off to make him look shorter, because of course he's had these really chunky bases. So the reason this is a Doctor Who set is through a loophole, because of course these were used for the Cushing movie, which wasn't made by the BBC, so they can't legally make this toy from the movie. So what they got to say is this is from the Chase, because when they were filming the Chase in 1965, they were also filming Doctor Who and the Daleks with Peter Cushing. They were filming those films at the same time. So when they were making the Chase, they went over to those people while they were making the film and said, hey, can we borrow some of your Daleks to have just a few more background Daleks in the story? Because you might not tell if they're in the background, it's black and white, you wouldn't really notice. Though you do notice the sort of massive headlight, the massive dome lights. They were like, yeah, sure. One or two of these appear in when they're on Mechanus at the end of the episode. So through that legal loophole, we can now get these figures. We can only get the blue ones, we can't get the red one. We can't get the black one with the gold and silver domes. We can't get and we can't get any of the ones from the second film, which I do prefer. I do prefer the ones in the second film, because I think the colours just... I prefer the silver over this sort of bright sort of... But I mean, this is very like, oh look, we can film in colour. Look at all the colours we can do. I do prefer the ones from the second movie. He's a sort of bluish silver. I think in the camera he looks a bit more silvery, but I mean if you put him next to him, you can sort of tell there's a more bluish sort of tint. Oh, they look quite threatening, don't they? Sort of staring at you. Ooh. Yeah. I have got two more thingies, two more Hartnell Daleks to do. We've got this guy from the Chase. This isn't a History of the Daleks one. This is one I got. This is from the Chase set with his very broken plunger, which came with a mechanoid, which is one of my favourite toys I have. The mechanoid. The only different, there's not much. There's quite similar between these two. Of course, this one of course has this was the first ones that had the vertical slats. They've got the same sort of eye stalk. I think they're meant to have a different eye stalk. I think in the Chase they're meant to have an eye stalk more akin to that one with like the smaller rings, I think. And they're not meant to have. This has the sort of bulb lights that this Dalek has. I think in this one they had what they called the egg cup lights. Egg cup lights, because they were pretty made with egg cups. But they were orange. I think they are meant to be orange or maybe yellow possibly. But they're not the shape that this one has. I might zoom it in post, and also they've done the gun. They made the gun that really like pointed at the end, which I don't really like. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if that's accurate, but they did on this Dalek. He's a bit sort of broken because he's got a bit of a problem with keeping his plunger up. Which I mean this guy's like sort of like nearly this guy's getting off like 60 years old. I think at that age you can have a few problems. Oh, there we go. Oh, don't move too big. You might scare it away. Okay, off he goes. Go over there. Off you go. He's hit the lamp. He's hit the sidewalk. He's hit the pavement. Off he goes. There you go. Sidewalk. What am I, American? And then chase him. Ah! Oh no, he hit the curb. And then the last one I've got for the Hartnell era is one of my favourite ones, the Flamethrower Dalek. Well, they've got a proper name. I don't know, they give them like a different name, don't they, in the story? I've yet to actually watch the Master Plan, the new episodes. I don't think I've watched any Master Plan actually. I don't think. I haven't really seen many of the sort of like half completed episodes. I'm just curious, what the hell is that? Oh, okay. Okay, it doesn't look too bad on the camera. I saw like the reflection. It was like this massive like crack going at the back of it. I thought, oh my god, it's broken. But he's fine. He looks so sure. He's like, whoa! I think these are also meant to have the egg cup lights and all that sort of, and all the stuff I brought up with the Chase Dalek. But of course, he's got his massive flamethrower. Burn the theatre. Okay, no, stop blowing. It was not a theatre. It's a jazz club. Get it right, man. Get it right. I built the damn thing. They did do a B&M one of this, but like I said, I don't have that set. I don't have the Chase or the Master Plan, so I don't have the Black Supreme from that story. But I do have this guy. This is from the Enemies of the First Doctor set, and that came with I think a Cyberman and a Roboman. The problem is because this is quite heavy, it does sort of actually bend the flamethrower thing. So I had to sort of twist it every now and again to stop it like bending too much. Because if you hold it up like that, this is quite heavy. It does sort of weigh on the thing, and after a while, it does sort of drop back down. Right, I need to sort of move them up a bit. Get out of the frame. Get out of the frame. Because now I've got to get my 2/3 Troughton Daleks so I can find the third one. So the three I have for Troughton rather, these are the ones from Power of the Daleks. So these have the proper egg cup lights, and this one of course has got the sieve of doom. Also, it's Doctor Who, the sieve of death. I know, I find this quite funny. So these ones have the more darker blue neck ring. I keep saying neck rings, eye rings, whatever. And this one has a different eye stalk entirely, because this has got more of a 70s one. Which apparently, of course, I've only ever seen the animated version of Power of the Daleks, but apparently they did have a Dalek that looked like this in the background of one of the episodes. So this isn't like a sort of cock-up, this isn't like a QC issue, this is like a proper, they meant to do this. And they have, I also quite like these ones, sort of like the sort of quite simple, actually I might prefer these ones actually, the sort of the straight one without any sort of vertical sort of fins or anything like that. It's just very straight, simple, just a gun. Very simple, just sort of death ray. And then from Evil, which came with the pilot you saw earlier, this is the Emperor Guard from Evil of the Daleks, which I've had, again, for a very long time. It is a much deeper blue. Actually, it doesn't really come up on camera. But this is actually, maybe... Oh, no, I think it's a darker to this one. Unless it's faded over the years. But this one has... Maybe it's... I just always imagine this has, like, darker blue. Maybe it was darker blue to this one. Hang on. It looks the same. Have I gone mad? I swear... No, that is definitely a darker blue to that. those blue is darker blue, but I think the camera makes it look like the same. But this has a slightly darker shade of blue on the hemispheres on the bottom, but you can't really see it on the camera. But of course, it's got the black dome because it's the Emperor Guard. Ooh, Emperor Guard. Ooh, Emperor and menacing. Look, he's staring into the thing. We can. This is when I sort of put the line over from the episode, but that no, that's pretty copyrighted. Let's not. I won't bother. So that's all of my '60s ones. I broke them on my flowers. I mean, is that a shot? So it wouldn't affect continuity, but it would affect me. All right. I will do a video one day looking through all my buildings because I have 5. Yeah, 5. That's the one. That's the one. I can't have any more. I've run out of space on my sideboard. But I will do a video looking through them because they're awesome. Moving on to the '70s and the Third Doctor. I had to also quickly pause and get a drink. The only one I've got for Day of the Daleks is the Supreme, which came with the Emperor Guard and the Pilot. They all came in one set together. Quite an odd bunch, because I believe the first Dalek set, which I believe the first class Dalek set, had a Dead Planet drone, a Genesis drone, and the Planet Supreme, which I do have. I'll show you because you see them in a little bit. But this is the only day Dalek I have. I never got the day History of the Daleks set, which came with one of them and the drone from the story. This one I've customised. I've painted the mesh to be gold with a gold Sharpie very poorly because this one originally the neck grill was black, which of course isn't right. It has to be gold, which they fixed on the new one, on the B&M one. I think new was from like 4 years ago, probably 3-4 years ago now. But I've always wanted it properly, so I thought it was quite an easy custom to do. I didn't. The reason it looks so crap is because I never like took it apart. I got a gold Sharpie, just went and sort of just poked it in, and it doesn't look. It looks a bit worn. It looks like I have had this for like a decade, which I probably have. But from sort of far away, I don't really notice it. It looks a lot better than what it was. So I like him because is this the one I've sort of made it myself, and I quite like it for that. So that's why I try to have on my site. I try to have like the drones from the stories, but this is the only Supreme one I have because I'm proud of it. I'm low key proud. Anyway, so the next one is, of course, I never did anything for Frontier in Space. They did do ones for planets, and I've got these guys. I'm not a massive fan. I don't mind the sort of fully grey. I prefer, my favourite Dalek is the Genesis one. But I don't mind these guys. These are pretty much the same as the ones you do get in Day. But of course, these special Daleks had a very special edition, because these are specifically the 2 Daleks from Planet that they throw in the ice pool. And I know this because... Bum, 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 bum. Their heads opened up. And I remember this was a really big thing because all the people who were given like early sets of this to review for YouTube, none of them showed this off. This was like a secret thing to be revealed when they sort of hit store shelves. And actually, I basically, if you go back and look through some of those videos, you never see the back, because of course that's where the hinge is. They never show you the back of the Dalek because you'd see the hinge. It's a really weird thing, but none of them show you the back at all because, of course, it has the hinge for this. And if you flip it over, you can see there is a bit of a mutant in there. He's got a little TV screen. You know, he's watching a Family Guy Funny Moments or something. That's what Daleks like to do. That's what they do. You know, when they're not blowing up, you know, planets and destroying innocent lives, they're watching Family Guy Funny Moments on YouTube. The YouTube shorts. Even Daleks doom scroll. That's what we've learnt here. Daleks doom scroll. It's a problem that affects even the most evil creatures in the universe. Right, over there. They probably invented it. That's not the only B&M set of Daleks I have. Oh, they knocked over the stool. Sorry, they knocked over the little stool. You can't see it. It's literally just that frame. Like the frame ends like here, and like about an inch later there's a chair, and they knocked the chair over. Because I've got these, because they did 2 Planet sets for Planet because it's such a good story, and they did the cloaked anti-reflecting lightwave Dalek, and of course Supreme, my favourite Supreme. Look at this sucker, look at him in his action pose, because I made the thumbnail for this video for the original shoot. I might have to redo it. Oh, I might do it. I have an idea for a thumbnail. I might do a different thumbnail. I don't know. Oh, I just love this. I love this. I love how big it is. I love how terrifying he is, like as a character as well. Because I think this is like the first time you see a Dalek shoot another Dalek on purpose, I think. I might be wrong in that. Apart from in War. I mean, I guess they do it in the War in Evil, but this is when it's like sort of, like it's a Dalek from the same side of Dalek shooting another... It's the first Dalek-friendly fire incident, but purposeful. That's what it is. I think it's quite an important moment. Is there a piece missing there? There's a missing piece. I've got to go fit. That's going to be there forever in this video now. I'm not going to unsee that. That's really annoying. There is a missing. Where is it? It's in the wall. It's not part of the roof because that's the roof, isn't it? How the hell did I? Never mind. Let's not worry about that. You can't see it now. No, never mind. I've seen it. Just move on. So yes, I have this one. I do have the one they did before this. When they did the 5th anniversary Dr. Dalek 2-packs, the Dr. Dalek sets, for Pertwee, they did Planet, and they did this Dalek, but with the sort of spray paint on. I do have that Dalek, but I never liked it because it looked a bit ugly. So I banished him to the Shadow Realm, which is what I call my wardrobe. And he's in there, and I can't be asked to get him out because there's stuff in the way of the door, and I can't be asked to move the stuff because it's like 30 degrees. I can't be asked. So you've got just this. But imagine that with just like sort of black spray paint along the side, and you've got the same thing. I don't mind the fully invisible one. I don't know why it wasn't the fully invisible one because I think this looks quite cool. It sort of also reminds me a bit of the one from Revelation. Like you just put us on like a light box, and you've got the Dalek from Revelation with sort of like the dude inside. But oh god, that nearly fell off and hit my desk. So yeah, that. Oh no, we've got 2 more for Pertwee, haven't we? Because we've got Death to the Daleks, and we've got these 2 guys. So we've got the sort of the leader one with the orange lights, and then we've got the grey, the sort of normal one with the machine gun. I think this was the one that had the machine gun when you buy the set, but because they're Daleks, you can just pull the things out and switch them over, so it's fine. I do like this one. I also prefer it without the hemisphere because this one's got the oval. These ones had the oval, I think. I think also the Day Supreme, you can still see the oval there. But I prefer this one without the oval. I think it just looks a little bit nicer. So this is the one I have on display. I think also all their on all these dome lights like slightly different. So this one's got lots of ridges like on the inside. I don't know if you'll be able to see that if I zoom in. This might be a little bit out of focus because of course my screen's a bit further away, so it's hard to tell if it is in focus. I think that's in focus. So and this one hasn't got any. This one's sort of flat. And then if we look at sort of the old sort of Day one, it's. Actually, I think this one's got the same dome as that one. The same eye stalk, sorry, so ignore that. Oh, hang on, I think my DeLorean... Is that the DeLorean? What's that? That's just the bin, isn't it? That's not my Lego DeLorean. I'm getting off topic. No, that's another day. One day I will look at, like, I have so much Lego. I need to do Lego videos because I've just got so much. I need to show it off. I don't know, I can't put it as like a tax write-off. It's that I can see. There's the fire hydrant. But yeah, I can't. I've already bought it all. I can't deduct it as a tax write-off for a video I'm not monetizing. But I don't know. I don't know. I just want an excuse to get them all out of the drawer and sort of fix them all up because they're all trapped in a drawer and they're all sort of a bit mushed together. So yes, these are the Death ones. And I think now we're done with Pertwee. Yes, we can go on to Tom Baker. So let's go grab those. Go over there. This video's already long enough. Don't need to pan it out with stupid jokes. So these are all of my Daleks from Genesis of the Daleks specifically. So we'll look at you first because you're the oldest. So this is one of the 3 5th anniversary Dr. Dalek pack ones I've got. The first one was the one from Planet, which, like I said, was in the cupboard. I got this one and the 5th Doctor one, which you'll see in a moment. So this is specifically, because I remember on the box it was described as the Mark III travel machine. So this is the one that they stick the gun on and it threatens Harry and the Doctor with, which is nice. I do remember actually when they did the Davros set of this, the 4th Doctor came with the mutant that like sort of strangles him, which I thought was a really cool accessory. And I wish I got. I don't have any of those Davros sets. Those sort of 4-pack ones, which is a shame because they look really good. I love them. I like the Colin one because I want the one with his like hand shot off, and I really like the Necros, the blue cape. I really want the cape. Yeah, this one looks a bit naff because this one is very old because it's a lot more sort of blue. It's very matte. It's not really the right color. And then sort of the modern rendition of that Dalek is this one. So this was from a set called Creation of the Daleks, which did come with Davros, and you'll see Davros in a little bit. And this one's a little bit better because how they've done these guns is that if we pull it out, it pulls out the thing. So if we actually have to pull off both the guns, this gun, the new one, is a lot thinner, it's a lot sort of smaller, and it's actually designed to come off. Because I think with this one, the whole ball joint had been pulled off, which means you could put it in and reenact the scene where they click it in, but you can't ever redo the scene because now it's just stuck in. I don't know if you maybe meant to display it without the gun in at all and just have it as a hole in it. I don't know what was the point of the thing. It was a bit weird for me, but yes. And then this one's also got a fully silver ice, or even like little like sort of hinge bit is silver as well. And it's also the same with the plunger as well. You can pull the plunger out as well. And also they've got a hole because there's like a little wire piece you can fit in on the other side to make it look like it's like the sort of the cable that feeds into the Dalek to make the gun work. I think that's a really nice detail, I think, for a set. And also it means you can hold, because it's a little bit smaller, it means other figures can hold the guns. Yeah, I think this is my favourite, because I like, because it's not all one colour like the Planet and the Day ones are. So it's the sort of gunmetal grey with the black hemispheres. It's that little bit of colour difference, which I think makes it pop so much better. It just looks a lot more sort of iconic. And also the same with the neck mesh is black, the base is black. It's just there's few little colour differences just make it stand out a little more. Also, it's a little bit glossier as well. And it's not like the exact. It's not as like metallic-y, but it's like glossier. But I know it just looks a lot nice. And I've also got the two drones they did for Genesis. So I've got these. So I've got like three like almost identical. I've got like a proper little army of Daleks, which I love. So these guys are a bit mismatchy. So these two have both got the little central oval. This guy doesn't. This one's got a silver thing on the gun. The other ones are just sort of black. Oh, that one's sort of silver, but this one's black. This one's of course got the grey sort of ball joint for the plunger. This one's got these sort of different, sort of more flat dome lights, which apparently one of the Daleks have. I'm going to watch Genesis Daleks. Like, see, I'm doing a watch through of every episode of Doctor Who from Unearthly Child, every complete story rather, up to Reality War, and I'm tiering them as I go in my Discord. I'm making little tier lists. And I'm still shocked to say the only massive sort of controversy I've gotten is the fact I put the Rescue in D tier. Everyone else has been quite well receptive. I'm not saying I'm trying to rage bait my own Discord. So that's all the Genesis Daleks. I think yes, that's all. I only have the four. The gang. Look at them. They look so cool. Right. Over there, please. Thank you. Because now we've got the three. I forgot I got three of these. The Destiny Daleks. So I've got these two. So this was from the B&M set. Of course, these are very different because, of course, these Daleks in this story were absolutely in shambles. You could tell they've got all these little scratches on the domes. These aren't me. They came like this. I'm not that clumsy. Of course, they've all got these lovely weathered bases because they all got, like, scratched to high hell and they were bumping into things. There's the Genesis one. They've all got sort of these scratch bases. All the 60s ones did as well. So, of course, these are that more sort of lighter grey, which were never. I still wasn't this light on the show. They still look a little bit darker on the show. It's not until you see them sort of outside, sort of by part 4, when they're going towards the Magellan ship, they look a lot lighter. When they're indoors, when they're in the sort of Dalek city in the sort of control room, and the lighting's different. They don't look as sort of light as this. So of course these are very mixed matchy. This one's got the brown bit on the gun. This one doesn't. This one's got the sort of the rings on the eye store on the lights. This one doesn't. This one's got the black sort of ring. This one's just grey. So they were very different. And there was even one that didn't even have like proper ball joints on the guns. And they just got like the plunger and the egg whisk and just sort of stuck them in, and he was always in the back. And there was also many shots where they would like move, and the whole thing would sort of like tip forward, or that the midsection would sort of lift off because it wasn't sort of like screwed down properly. They had very cheap Daleks in that story. There was probably a legitimate reason for why they were so crap. And then the final one, which is probably my favourite, is the Suicide Dalek. I like this. I just like the bombs. I wish we had some loose ones that we could like hold. But that's just me. But I just like the colour of it. It just really makes the Dalek pop. And now go over there. Don't blow up. So the first Davison one is everyone's favourite, the Five Doctors Dalek. Woo woo woo. Bugger! I've lost him. That's a blooper joke. That is, if anyone gets that. Right. Anyway, enough about obscure comedy. Right. So this is I don't mind the colour of it. I'm not a big fan of the dome lights of this one, but I like the colour of it. I do like the colour, the sort of the dark grey and I do like this sort of colour of Dalek. I will say my favourite Dalek is probably the only one I don't have, which is the Revelation Renegade Dalek. That's probably my favourite design of Dalek. But probably my favourite Dalek design is the Revelation Renegade, and it's the only. I think it's the only one that B&M haven't done. I think the only one you can get, I think, is from the Revelation Davros 4-pack. Unless they did like a sound effects one as well. But that's the one I remember seeing and think, oh, I really like how that looks, is the Revelation one. And I don't have it. And I'd love to get one because it's probably my favourite design, and you see it for a very small amount of time, in the show in general, because they only turn up at like the sort of the latter end of the second part. This one's also got, of course, the sort of orange sort of Nerf gun inside of the gun, but it's not really much to talk about because it's just very sort of it's a Dalek really with the funny dome. It's just got the funny dome lights, but. Apart from the dome lights, probably would be my favourite Dalek I have, probably, apart from the dome lights, but never mind. Right, so now we can go on to Revelation. Resurrection. Oh, that's not Revelation, we're missing one. So this is the first Resurrection Dalek I got. This was also one of the anniversary 2-pack ones. I think because of the red lights, this is specifically meant to be the one they throw out the window, I think. I'll do a little reenactment for you. Shoot, that actually scratched something. That actually... I did that, and that actually scratched the plate. Look at that. Oh no, it comes off. What's that from? Why has that got, like, poop on it? What? Can you see that? I don't know what that is. Was it from the ice? I assume it's from the ice stock. Is that going to come off? I think it's like paint or something. Is it going to... I assume that was from... It's what? I'm assuming it came from, like, one of the from the eye rings. Or something. It is coming off. It is coming off. It's sort of gone now. But that was. I thought I generally had like screwed up one of my Lego pieces. That was quite funny. I did not expect that to happen, but never mind. Yeah, this is a very early one, so that's why it's very dusty. It's over there. It's very very blue, isn't it? They were never this blue. Also, his eye doesn't really quite work because it always sort of. I don't really like these eyes. I don't like all these spaced out discs. It looks a bit crap. And also, he's got poo in his eye. I'm gonna stop looking at that now. And then we have. These two, the Resurrection 2-pack, which also have the sort of the red inside on their guns, with the Supreme. Probably my third. Oh, it's got a bit of soft focus on the camera because it's reflecting all the light 'cause it's white. It's got like soft focus. It's like Katharine Hepburn is in the sort of underskirt of this Dalek, and it's causing a lot of soft focus. That is really weird. Is that being picked up? I think, yeah, that is so weird. Because all the light is reflecting off it, and it's a much stronger white than it is. Because it's not doing it on this. I think it's not catching the light properly, the building here. But that is an incredible effect. How that sort of, if you've ever seen, like, the reason I say, like, Cat Hepburn, like, in all, like, sort of black and white, like, 50s movies, like, 50s, 60s movies, or, like, earlier, like, basically very old black and white films, sort of Alfred Hitchcock day, whenever they filmed women, they would put it into soft focus to make them look prettier. So like things like, you know, Katharine Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, anyone like that. If they ever filmed a woman, it would be in soft focus, like, and it would be all glowy like that because they didn't have Photoshop back then. That's the best they could do. So, I've never seen that effect sort of done. I think they would do it by just sort of putting like Vaseline or something on the lens. Oh no, the Revelation ones do it as well. You'll notice it with the Revelations, but you'll notice that these are actually, if I put it in the middle, this Dalek is actually slightly shorter than all the others because these Daleks and the Revelation ones do as well. They've got this little lip. See that there's no lip. It goes like sort of straight from like the midsection to the neck. This one has they've got a little extra thing, and these Daleks do, and also the Revelation ones do as well. And it makes them look a little bit tall, which is nice. It adds a little bit more to the profile, makes them look a bit, little bit taller. Yeah, that's sort of like what the Revelation Renegade looks like, apart from of course the eye. But it's the sort. I think they were a slightly darker grey, but I like just all the little black detail. I like the silver mesh as well. I like the mesh of silver on the midsection. Yeah, if this had the closed up eye rings, that's basically a Revelation that with a slightly darker grey on the whole body. And then that's like my favourite Dalek design. I love it. I love it to bits. And then of course we've got the Supreme. This is like my third favourite Supreme. My second favourite is the Remembrance one. And of course, like I said, the first one's the Planet one. But enough tearing Daleks because The only new addition, I think it's the only new addition since I filmed the original version of this. The Destroyed, that's like the new, I think this is like the most recent character options online set they've done with Tegan Travanka. And I believe also you got you got a Dalek trooper gun and a crocodile. No, it was what was it? It was the Magellan virus like capsule, the sort of the bomb, the sort of big blue thing. And you get a blown up Dalek. You get to see like you see the thing inside. I think it's meant to be this Dalek because of course they were made so close together. They look sort of identical, which is cool. So you literally have like a before, and then an after. We move on to Revelation. It was Revelation. I know. Now I have shown these off on one of the channels before. I think when they came out. So just insert that clip basically. Because of course I don't have any of the Remembrance drones, the Renegade drones. Sorry, I keep saying Renegade, and I keep thinking that was like a TikTok dance, wasn't it? From like when TikTok like began, because I'm very old. But yeah, these are the Necrosses. I don't really like the sort of white and gold. I prefer it in the Remembrance one because this looks like they got one of these and painted it white. The other ones they put a bit more work into it, so they sort of designed it around being sort of white and gold. A bit more, and of course these also have that sort of enlarged sort of neck piece, and you can see it's that nice sort of brass sort of color, sort of goldy brass color. Yeah. Also, these Daleks have like the worst voices ever. Yeah, not good voices. Also, this one sells that massive scratch down the front. Actually, it doesn't show up as well on this camera, but there's like a massive sort of gash here, like it's been cracked. It's not cracked. It is like just paint. Yeah, there's a reason. So this one gets on display, not you, because you look crap. And they've got a different oval piece as well. They've got this like more wider, more 3D one, which I don't hate. Right, and now we move on to the pinnacle of 80s. I'm missing a Dalek. I got him. It's all fine. Panic over. We have now got the Remembrance Daleks. So we'll start with the Imperial ones, which had, of course, these had the sort of hexagon rather than the oval, and these lovely sort of flat dome lights and the silver eyes. So this is the one that was the 2-pack one, and then this was the one that came with Ace, I think. Now I'm not going to do too much with this one because this one's a little bit broken. This eye socket's on the verge of coming off. It's because this thing's very stiff and it's very small, and it's quite flimsy. And it's so I dare not move his eye or anything because he's on the verge of breaking. But yeah, this one isn't terribly accurate because it's got the sort of the black iris. I think it's meant to be like, I think this is the most accurate Dalek Remembrance that we've had. But they've made quite a few over the years. They did one with the 7th Doctor. They did a 4-pack of them with some Renegade Daleks as well. They did a destroyed one with Davros as well. But they've done like about 4 of these just regular drones, Imperial drones. And I think after the 4th attempt, this is like the most accurate one because a lot of them had the wrong gun. One had like the plungers, like the plunger was like really quite sort of spherical and weird. I think on the original ones they made the eyes like blue for some reason. They made the eyes like blue, like sort of like in like the new series, which was a bit weird. But yeah, we'll move you out of the way because you're sort of the pinnacle of the sort of design. You're sort of the archetype of what an Imperial Dalek should be. I like this one because it just I don't know, the design tweaks, like things like the eyes and little hexagon, it's all very 80s. It all sort of fits much better with the look. While with the other ones, they've just got on a regular dark and painted it white. This one's like it was sort of designed around that sort of motif, that sort of colour scheme, and it just fits. I still don't like it, but it fits better on this one. And then we've got the... Oh no, we're missing... If we've got to talk about the Imperial Daleks, we've got to talk about the big boy. The Special Weapons Dalek, yes. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, I did have a sound effects one. This is the sound effects one. It's got the button, and of course underneath, I think I took the battery out to stop it from like breaking. Yeah, I took the battery out. But I believe it does still work. I took the battery out so it doesn't sort of rot and kill it because I really like this thing. I bought this one because it was the sound effects one, I love it to bits. And then this is the new one that they did with this Dalek, I think it came with. Which of course it does. It's so much nicer. It's so much more well defined. Like all the sort of. The only problem is they've decided to not paint over this, which is where the button would be. but there's no. But of course, this one doesn't make any sound effects. But of course, it's just all the colours are a lot sort of stronger. The bronze, the sort of brass goldiness is a lot more sort of brighter. The sort of the marking on the sort of weathering on the bottom is a lot more well sort of defined. It's the exact same sort of design. So this one's in much sort of sharper contrast, and you can really tell on this camera. You can see how much better it sort of pops, and your eyes get sort of drawn to all those sort of brighter colours, and it's just gorgeous. And I just love the idea of the Daleks making just like a tank. I mean, there were sort of already sort of tanks, but they made like a tank, and we don't see enough of these sort of Daleks in the show anymore. You see a lot of similar things in things like the books and like in the audio story stuff. You never see we haven't really had a Dalek like this in the show anymore, which is a shame because I think it's cool and I want more mad Daleks in the show. So that's the Imperials done. We can now go back to the Renegade Daleks, and that came in a set together. We've got the drone, which again is a lot lighter on camera than it should be. Which the reason I don't really like this one because it's very matte. Like it's all like matte grey, matte black. It just looks so sort of plain and sort of devoid of sort of happiness. I know it's a Dalek. That's a bit of a weird way to describe a Dalek, but it just looks so, just sort of like, meh. And also makes it look very plasticky and a bit sort of fake. But then you've got the Supreme. I love this Supreme. This is my second favourite Supreme. I love the black and the silver. I love how sort of glossy it is. It's just, it's so beautiful. These don't have the little like neck bits that the Revelation Resurrection Daleks had. These are a bit shorter, but just look at the silver. Look at that reflect off the light. Look at it catch the light of the sun. Oh, power of the sun in the palm of my Dalek. Anyway, right. So that is now, and obviously they have slightly different eye stalks, but same with this one. Ooh, it's different. Away. There we go. Because now we've beaten my original video, and now we are going on to the new series stuff. There are a few I nearly forgot I sort of had, which is weird because I have them on my sort of main display, which is the Big Finish Daleks. So a couple of years ago, they did a sort of wave of 3 Dalek Doctor packs based on Big Finish stories. So this is the sort of first one, sort of in sort of canonical order, which is, I believe, this is actually not from a Doctor sort of story. This is from, I think, one of the Gallifrey ones, like Gallifrey 4. I don't listen to the Gallifrey ones. And this is the Axis Squad Dalek. It's like a sort of squad leader Dalek, which is meant to lead sort of regular bronze ones. And I believe it came with a sort of TV movie-esque McCoy, which is weird because I don't think McCoy's actually not in. I don't think the Doctor is even in that series. I don't know, but that's sort of the Doctor's meant to be sort of around at the time, sort of the equivalent thing. But I mean, maybe it's what they wanted a Dalek to put with. I think, and I'm surprised. I'm ashamed. I'm sad they don't do more of these because, like, I guess there's quite a lot of funky, weird Dalek designs. But think of all the other sort of Big Finish sort of Doctors you could sort of put with it and stuff. You know, you could do like you could try and do like the Jubilee Dalek. You know, and do something like that, and have like the full blue Colin Baker. You know, so you could start releasing some other more unique Doctor costumes, and putting some Daleks with us. You could do, because I mean there are a few weird ones that you could do, like I'm not saying they should do like things like the Berserker Dalek with like the tank treads, or like a spider one that like the War Doctor fights, or the ones that like McGann fought. Like in because I think the ones things like Blood Daleks I think are meant to be just sort of silver Daleks. I think yes. So this is the Gallifrey Forms. This is just sort of like a bronzy Dalek, a bit weathered, with these sort of matte black hemispheres, the sort of silver middle bit, and the black dome. He's also got like he's got a bit of ident writing, which I think is like the same one as Dalek Sec. I don't know if he's meant to be Dalek Sec, but that's the thing you see. Unless he is. Ooh, what a twist! If so, I may have unintentionally spoiled the story. I apologize. I don't think that's the thing. Then this is, I think, an Interrogator Dalek, I believe, from a Dark Eyes. Not Dark Eyes. It's Time War. It's a Time War one, but it came with a Dark Eyes McGann in the sort of the leather coat. But I think it's a Time War. Yeah, because I've listened to all of Dark Eyes and all the sort of like post Dark Eyes stuff, like Doom Coalition and Ravenous. And this is probably my favorite one out of the 3, the Interrogator. I just like the blue. I like the blue and the silver. It's quite weird. And also this one doesn't right. And also this one does the scientist Dalek from from a War Doctor one, which came with the John Hurt. My only John Hurt figure is the one that came with this Dalek. Also, I think the dome isn't silver. It's maybe like a sort of bluish silver, and the hemispheres are silver, which is weird. But yeah, I like the sort of different kinds of, like, you know, things like scientists. I like these sort of Daleks because and the fact they're sort of bronze, they fit well if you have lots of bronze Daleks. They all sort of, you know, it fits if you want, like, if you like army building and stuff. With like these ones and the Genesis ones, I do quite like doing that. So I like having these to sort of put around, just sort of break up the colours and just make it look a bit more interesting, make your armies look a bit more interesting. But now we can move on to the Eccleston era, which is basically just Dalek and parting other ways. But you know, there's still Daleks to talk about. So starting strong and very dustily with the original Metaltron Dalek from Dalek with the big chunky guns. God, this looks a lot goofier now after looking through all those other classic ones and having these guys as well. These do look amazingly goofy, don't they? Look at that. But of course, this is the Metaltron. And what's special about the Metaltron was, the original one, is it opens up and you can see the Dalek inside. Oh, it's so cool. I love that. I was really sad because, of course, the next one I'll show, this is the one from Dalek. This one came with, I believe, Dalek Sec. It was like Dalek slash Doomsday. They did sort of like mix one. Because you couldn't just do Dalek on its own. I would have liked... I think you could have done Dalek on its own if you did the clean one and then like the broken one. And I know he had things like he had like sort of panels torn off and stuff, but you could, you know, make him look dirty and dusty, and you could do a few. You could just make him look grubby and broken, and you could have sort of you could have like sort of before and after. I think that would be quite a good way of doing the 2-pack. But I like he's got these sort of weird little like marked bits on the hemispheres. Actually, it took me a while to realise it actually was the one from Dalek, because for a while I thought it was I think it's meant because it's got the gold band. This is the only Dalek that has the gold band. I like that. I don't know why they didn't keep adding that gold band around the bottom, because I really like that look. But for a while I thought, because of these things, because I think on the box it's called like Time War Survivor Dalek. It's not called Metaltron. I thought, oh, is it meant to be one from like the Genesis arc? And then I noticed the gold band. I was like, no, this is metal. This is the Metaltron. It's nice to see this like all sort of sleek and sort of in the sort of the thin design to make it look just like an actual Dalek. This looks so much cool. I want more like this. I want more Daleks like this. I did have a couple, but they've been sort of lost to time. Because I have a lot of these ones I have are quite broken. You'll see quite a few of them later on. And then from Parting of the Ways, we've got, like I said earlier, you've got the sort of I think this one was what you like, the sort of the cutting one. I swear there was some sort of one with like they cut through. He's got sort of the claw cutty one, and then you've got the sort of Commander Dalek, which I think is not in the episode, or is like sort of CG'd in. But they did do another toy later. It was like a remote control one. But I do like this one as a sort of like a mini Supreme. Oh god, that gun is going to snap, isn't it? Be careful when bending that, because that looks like it is going to snap. But yeah, it's got the sort of matte black with the bronze, and this one's got sort of the gold band as well. So I don't know, yeah, it's good as sort of like a sort of mini Supreme, like another sort of kind of Supreme Dalek, and yeah, it's just nice to have lots of these sort of new series Daleks in this sort of slim design. Yeah, and this one also has a little sort of ID code as well, which is nice. I like that detail, the little different codes. Because this one's different, because this is the one that's on Dalek, which I think is the right code. And then on this one, it is a slightly different code, which is the other thing that threw me off, because the code was different, because I recognised what the code was, what the shape was, because I'm that much of a nerd. But these, I think also, I think some of these had black domes, you could have like Emperor Guards, I think. I think you always got this one, but I think sometimes you would get one with a black dome rather than just a regular drone like this. I think there was like a chance you get one or the other. I'm not 100% sure. Also, that's another thing I realised. Look at the base. This sort of weird sort of brownie base, and then on this one is a blue buttery biscuit base. Because I said never mind. As we get into sort of the Tennant and the Smith era ones, a lot of these Daleks, like the Metaltron, of about 10 plus years worth of dust build up on. To the fact that I had so much dust that my little dusting thing that I used to dust like my Lego and get the clean dust out my computer ran out of battery mid-clean because there was so much dust on these. So I've done my best to make them as clean as possible, but I generally ran out of power, basically. I ran out of electricity to do it. So here is my original Dalek set, and here are my original Jast and Khan. Sadly, I do have a Fae. I do have a Fae like this, like an army of a Doomsday Fae, but he's gone. And I did have a Fae from Dark Side Manhattan with the metal panels, like the sort of steel panels on the back, but his gun snapped. And I think he's also gone to the Shadow Realms Island. But I do have the full set. I do have a Sek, a Khan, and a Jast. I don't know which ones are the right things, but I do have the full set. But these are the only ones I had on the bookcase with all my other figures. But yeah, they look the same as the Dalek. There's Metaltron with their goofy, massive plunges, and they're sort of really sort of like, they don't look as blue as they do in real life. Sort of like a greeny blue to them, and they look a lot more sort of black. They look a lot grayer on the camera than they really do. But if we get Sek quite close, look at the dust build up on that. Oh, look at that! Like, I sort of cleaned one side, and the battery before I get the other side. Oh, that's good. The Paradigm ones were quite bad because they're quite bright. They look a bit better, but I think Sek might be one of the worst ones. For context, this is the new Sek that they did. I like to see. I'm glad I got one of these in the sort of the thin design. I know they have done one like this before, but I think it was like a US exclusive. This was the first one they did in Britain. I think that they released like in Britain or in Europe or whatever. He's done so much dust on his dome. It's all glossy, so it comes out so much more. But he's only like 2 years old, so he's not as bad. But that does look good. Look how cool he looks. Yeah, I don't know why the middle bit was matte and everything else was glossy. I'm not quite sure why that was the case, but he is cool. I do quite like the Cold Scarrow, but oh god, he looks hideous. I'm sort of rushing through it one because these are the sort of the Mon ones. There's not as much sort of details to talk about. So we've got well, I guess I forgot how broken this was. This is my very, very flimsy Storm Earth Supreme, which was also quite dusty. I had to clean him out. That gun has not moved in like when this set out, so 2008, 2009. So for the 17 years I've owned this figure, that gun has never moved. I'm scared because a lot of these Daleks, the things that have snapped is this gun. Like I had an Ironside, gun snapped. I've had a lot of issues with these sort of new series Daleks. Like this one, this isn't actually the Crucible Dalek while it has the claw. This was released as the progenitor guardian from Victory of the Daleks. So this is the Dalek that's on the saucer that isn't in Army Green. My original Crucible Dalek, what I basically rolled the little thing that the eye stalk slips into. I had rolled that sort of back into its own head, and I couldn't get it back, so I lost the slot where the eye goes in. So I think that is actually the Crucible Dalek eye, because I think the original Supreme eye snapped. So I think that's why it looks. I think it's meant to be that long. I think, but I do love the Supreme. This is probably one of my. This is the only sort of apart from the Paradigm. This is the only sort of a Supreme Dalek. That's in like it's. That plunger is not good. I think that plunger was one of the ones from one of the B&M ones, like in the packaging, and it bent in the packet. And I think I'd swapped it. I think it might have been Sex or something. I don't know. It might be Dalek Sex plunger. But it just looks like he's giving you like the finger, like. Yeah, because I don't have on display, I have him sort of in the back of the cupboard because he's got the crap looking. He's a bit of a mess. And this guy, I think his eyes. I think this bit is snapped. Yeah, I think I waited for the blue tape to try and stick it back on, and now I have to actually fix it back. Now I need some space for the next one because we got some big boys in now. Red. I don't know. Red. Orange. White. Yellow. Blue. They all can't fit in frame. It's the Dalek Paradigm. Put your plunger away, mate. Look at them all. And twist. There we go. Now they're all in frame. Look at them all. They can't go that far. I guess I could put them on the pavement. Can I put them on the pavement? And then you can sit at the front because the lamppost is in the way. Look at that. Look at the screen, scientist. Look at the screen. Yes. Powerful. The Skittles Daleks rise. It's a shame they were sort of like thrown. I mean, because Moffat tried to softly retcon the movie because he sort of made them into sort of like the idea that they're sort of like officers sort of thing, and like the drones are sort of like the platoon leaders, and you still get some of the like bronze Daleks like you see in Asylum and stuff. But yeah. And I agree. I think if they looked like how they looked in Asylum when they first appeared, so in that sort of more dark metallic color, like so when you see the strategists and the drones, those sort of dark metallic reds and blues, I think they might have gotten a better reception. I think when they came out, I do like sort of the further out they get, the sort of the higher pitch their voices, because these guys have quite high pitched voices. Then these were sort of like middly. Do you actually ever hear the Eternal speak in the? I don't know. I'm thinking back to the animation thing. The Dalek That Time Forgot, which is about which sort of is is an animated fan film thing talking about how it shows how the progenitors got sent through time, how one ended up in the Second World War. It shows how what happened to Khan, sort of between Evolution of the Daleks and Stolen Earth. And it's very good. It's quite. I think it's quite a popular sort of video in sort of Doctor Who thing. I really like it because they make another paradigm that he makes a green one, the geneticist. This sort of green sort of biology Dalek, which is quite cool because he had a syringe, they have a plunger I think as well. And so, yeah, we had the Supreme, you had the drone sort of foot soldier, you had the scientist, the Eternal, which I haven't actually listened to the last of the 11th Doctor Chronicle things. I haven't listened to Victory of the Doctor, which does sort of explain sort of what the Eternal's meant to do. And I haven't listened to that, so I don't actually know what he does. And then you got the strategist. All the other names sort of speak for themselves, but the Eternal was always a bit of a mystery. What did he do? What did he do? And he was also the only one that had black hemispheres. Everyone else was silver. Even the Supreme was silver. But he's the only one who has black ones. I guess the silver and the yellow would look a bit weird. Although I don't know how you do like a weird metallic yellow. I think that would look quite weird. But I guess you could stay sort of bright. But yeah, metallic orange, metallic red, metallic blue, dark blue would look really cool. Yeah, there's quite a few Smith ones. I never got. I did get one, the Ironside one. They did one with Churchill. I didn't get that one. I also never got any of the Asylum Daleks as well. Never got any of those. I do actually have. I should have two. I have two Eternal Daleks from the character building sets, the Doctor Who ones. I have two Eternals that I got, like sort of special edition ones that I got gifted, which was nice. I think only one has all the bits survive. That has like all the bits like the gun and the plunger and the eye stalk. I have looked a few times on like Amazon and eBay to buy like some of the bronze ones. But yeah, that's the paradigm. They're very dusty, and I sort of love them because they're very intimidating. I think it was I think also a design thing. It was too big of a change. If you look at all the class ones, you can probably see it in this. It's very subtle. The only real subtle changes are the colours. So it goes from silver to like gunmetal grey, and then from gunmetal grey to gold to white and gold. But the shape of them, they've always sort of stayed the same. Like the only real massive change before this was when they went from the white and gold to the bronze of the new series Dalek. But then suddenly you go from this massive thing of like making them like sort of 8 feet tall and all that. I think it was a bit too much too soon. I think they look cool, but I think it was too much of a change. It was sort of too much at once. And also they were like merched to hell. Like they had like lunch boxes and stuff. I know because I had I had the lunchbox with the Daleks on. I've even got Paradigm Dalek socks that I do still wear. I've got ones with the Supreme and ones with the drone on. I do still wear them because they're awesome. Now we move out of the Moffat and into my last 3 Daleks from the Chibnall era. So Adam, if you're watching, you can stop watching because it's only gonna get it's all Chibbers stuff now. So you can look away. You can stop watching. Now we're in the Chibbers era. Now let's look at the sort of the ugly duckling of the Daleks, the Recon Dalek. Now I do have the mutant. Of course, you can open this thing. I think this flap opens up, and you can have it so the mutant's meant to sort of fly out the middle. I do have the mutant. I like the mutant. I think that's a really cool addition, but it's somewhere. Sorry, it's been over an hour. I'm running out of steam. Which I don't, because that's what this room's probably filling with. But one thing I do like about this Dalek is that the middle bit moves. I like that. I like how the middle bit moves. That's a nice addition. I like that. Yeah, because it's a thing that the Metaltron did, and like I imagine that all the other Daleks did afterwards, but you never see it again. I don't know why. I was like, I really like that thing. Why don't more Daleks spin? I don't like the Recon drone either. I'm glad that was never a figure, because I wouldn't want to buy that. But yeah, I wouldn't want to buy another Chibnall Dalek. What's that? I bought more Chibnall Daleks. Yeah. So these are the ones from Eve of the Daleks. These are the sort of the Death Squad Daleks with their funny claws and their miniguns, which is my favourite thing. Everyone loves the minigun Daleks, especially when they look at each other and kill each other, because Daleks really aren't that intelligent, apparently. Oh, they have got different ident things, but this one's got like sort of a Scaro one. Actually, I'll be honest, when you get quite close to the camera, they don't actually look that bad. They look, because of course they're a lot darker bronze, because I think they have gotten darker as the years went on. Like, I think these are a bit too much. They don't look as bad, I will say. They don't look as bad on camera, I don't think. But they do look pretty bad. They look like, I call these the dark chocolate Daleks, because they do look a lot like sort of a metallic dark chocolate. And they're both identical. Apart from the ident things, they're both the same thing. I don't like these claw things. I miss the plunger. I do like the belief that technically the last canonical Dalek we see in Doctor Who is technically a Genesis Dalek because of the Children Need special. So I like that. That makes me happy. Because I class that as canon. Yeah, I class that as canon. Hang on, before we go, I did forget something. There was some other ones I was going to show you, because I forgot to show off my Davros collection. I know he says he's not a Dalek, but he's good. But I'll show him off. So we'll look at the new one. We'll go backwards. So this is this isn't the Stolen Earth one. This is the one I believe from. This is from the Witches Familiar. This is the B&M one they did with the 12th Doctor. Because my other Davros is probably in a bucket somewhere, very, very dusty. This one's a little bit cleaner and shiny, but they're both the same one. So it's I forgot the name of the guy who plays this Davros, but he's got his little control panel. He's got his switches and his little blue ball thing, and I like how this sort of hinges up, but it hinges sort of like towards him, so he can't sort of look inside because that's where the hinge is. It's on that side, but he's got his chair and his. I think also my one, this chair was like really wonky on my other one, on my Soul on Earth one. But yeah, it's just Davros with his little clips and his. You can't open it up and see his ribs. Now this one, I believe I have showed off the Emperor Davros from Remembrance. I think I have shown this one off on the channel before. I think it was actually one of the first videos on this channel. I think was this Davros set. Because it came on its own. It was just this figure on its own. It's not sort of green than I remember. Of course, I think you can actually see him inside. It is like see through that little window. But yeah, I don't think it's meant to be that creaky. Oh no, if I do it enough, it sort of gets rid of the creak. But yeah, I like that as its own like Emperor thing. It doesn't have to be Davros. I think that's as cool as an Emperor. That my hand's so red. I just enjoy doing that, going over the road. And then my first classic Davros, and probably my favourite Davros, is my Genesis one. So this came with that Dalek that had the weird gun sort of bits that popped out. So this is of course this is my Michael Wisher. But there is something sort of Termaloid-ish about this Davros, because if you look over here, there is a little panel with an outline. I believe is it this button? It is that one! Because the first Davros they made was the Terry Malloy one from, I believe, Resurrection. And of course, in that story, they break the panel off to fix his circuits in his chair. So what they did, every Davros is basically the base is the Terry Malloy Davros. And they never glue up this panel, which I love. Even now, they didn't glue this up. They even went through the detail of painting it. Look, they've even done the detail of making it all sort of silver and stuff, which I love. Because a lot of these the other ones, they don't, like with the canine, when they did the classic canine, the sort of grey one, they glued up the mechanism so you can't open it up. But this one, they kept it open, which I love, so you can still fling it open. That was entirely out of frame. And now the panel's on the floor. But yeah, it's lovely. There's Davros's knob, right? And on Davros's knob, I will actually end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Wave goodbye, Davros. Actually, we'll get your old version. Go wave. You wave for us, Davros. Bye bye. Bye bye. That was definitely worth me turning OBS back on. I was gonna do the Genesis arc, but that is really nestled in, and if I get that out, that will definitely make a mess. So I ain't gonna do that. So If you want what the Justice art looks like, just Google it. I don't know. If you want to know what any look like, just Google it. Well, I've said it at the end, so you know you've watched it all now. So, bye bye.